Welcome back, everybody, to Altcoin Daily. My name is Aaron. Let's have an honest conversation about the implications of owning one whole Bitcoin today. Let me just preface this up front. I think we can both agree that most people don't give an F about Bitcoin. Most people do not care. You say, hey, why don't you buy Bitcoin? Most people are not interested in the slightest. You and me were interested. A lot of people are trying to accumulate one whole Bitcoin. Maybe you already have one whole Bitcoin. Don't tell me. Don't tell me if you do. Maybe you can hint at it in the comments, but do not tell me how much Bitcoin you own. And why do I say that? Let's say that you own one Bitcoin today. Well, one Bitcoin today for the past, for the past 60 days, Bitcoin has been ranging between $9,000 and $10,000. Now, in just a second, I want to get to the short-term stuff, but let's talk big picture. Today, one Bitcoin, let's just say, equals $10,000. If you tell somebody I own one Bitcoin today, they're going to know I own $10,000 worth of Bitcoin. But let's just say in the future, one Bitcoin is worth $100,000. Well, pretty soon, everybody that knew you owned one Bitcoin back in the day now knows that you own $100,000 worth of Bitcoin. And more than that, you own something that only 0.27% of the global population can own. I mean, really think about the implications of this. Really think about the implications. If you own one whole Bitcoin today, you are in an elite class. Now, I'm going to show you something that might surprise you. The people holding on to their Bitcoin for over a year has never been this high. We have reached a new all-time high with 62% of Bitcoin not moving on-chain for at least a year. So in Bitcoin's 11-year history, that number has never been this high. You can see back in the very beginning of 2016, the previous all-time high was 61% of Bitcoin not moving. And the reason this is significant, because when people aren't selling their Bitcoin, that means that there is upside pressure. That means people are going to pay a higher price for Bitcoin. The last cycle, this was the kickoff. You can see that, basically the headline is the last time that there was this much dormant Bitcoin rallied up to $20,000. Now, we've seen a lot of, here's the reality, guys. A lot of people think that because Bitcoin has been spending so much time, basically between $9,000 and $10,000, admit it, you never thought that Bitcoin would stay over $9,000 for basically 2 months straight. Because Bitcoin is consolidating near its local top, and if you look back at Bitcoin in prior bull markets, so whether it's this market, right here, you can look back. Basically what I'm saying is this. A lot of people look at Bitcoin's current price action, and because there's so much consolidation, many people are saying, well, this is a textbook Wyckoff reaccumulation trading pattern. We're going to break upwards. In this video, I'm here to postulate that if you are not in the 0.27% of the global population that owns one Bitcoin, you're still going to have a chance to pick up Bitcoin at a mid $7,000 range. Of course, nobody knows the future, but in a time when everybody's bullish, let's take a look at the bearish scenario. This is just short-term bearish because, again, I want to talk about why we are in a bull market. So, I want to reference an analyst who has been right before, specifically 6 months prior to Bitcoin bottoming out in 2018. So 6 months prior to Bitcoin's bottom, this analyst speculated that 3,200 would be the bottom. So he was right about the bottom 6 months prior. The same analyst says that equities and Bitcoin both look cooked. This is not reaccumulation. Sorry. This comment is in line with his previous analysis of Bitcoin, attached to the chart below, which predicts Bitcoin will fall towards the mid $7,000 range before rebounding. It'll be time to buy Bitcoin when all the relax guys, it's still ranging people admit this is distribution and turn bearish. So this guy's postulating that Bitcoin needs to fall below $8,000. Everybody will turn bearish and then Bitcoin will move higher. And by the way, you're never going to be able to buy at the absolute lowest point, so maybe don't wait for the exact bottom. You can cost average, you can do whatever, but keep in mind, we're not in a bear market anymore. We are in a bull market, as Philip Swift shows us one of the metrics. Hey, this guy follows me. Wonder if he's watching right now. Philip, if you're watching right now, comment below. This is a PSA for everybody. I know it's obvious, but for anybody who hasn't already, Get your coins off exchanges. This shows not enough people practice this. Your account and your Bitcoin can be gone in a flash. So not just for exchanges, anytime if you're staking, if you're giving up keys to your coins, they're not really your coins. And if anything happens to the exchange, if anything happens to that third-party entity, even if they have the best intentions, you could lose all your coins. So for instance, the typical holding time at Coinbase before people remove is about 90 days. This person is saying it should be one day. We need to collectively work towards changing the lingo we use to help people understand the actual reality. If you have money on Coinbase, you don't own Bitcoin. Bitcoin only exists on the blockchain. You don't have any address and private key. You don't own Bitcoin. Call it an IOU. Call it an entry into the database, but don't say you own Bitcoin. Additionally, anybody who dares to comment on how Bitcoin is fighting against banks and has your IOU stored somewhere else, you're a hypocrite. Coinbase or any other custodial wallet is just a shittier version of a bank. Now, in the future, most people will be trusting their coins to third parties, banks like this. Grandma's not going to want to hold her own coins. Probably your parents don't want to hold their own coins. That's just a reality. But, while we're in the unregulated wild, wild west of the cryptocurrency space, unless something is FDI insured, like Coinbase is, a lot of things aren't though, you risk losing all your coins. Okay, let's finish out this video with a lightning round of information. No pun intended. 2.5 years later, Lightning Network is growing at a healthy pace. So taking a look at this metric right here, we don't talk about it that often, but the Lightning Network is getting bigger and better. So the Lightning Network's only been viable for the last 2.5 years. You can see the way it started. The red is Lightning nodes without channels. The blue is Lightning nodes with channels. So you can see it started off small and it's trending up. It's increasing. Moving on, Bcash versus Bitcoin just hit a new all-time low. The market is clear which Bitcoin is the real Bitcoin. So if you're a Bcash enthusiast, if you're a Bcash holder, it's not looking like you picked the winner. Moving forward, I thought this was pretty interesting. Singapore ride-sharing app lets customers pay with Bitcoin. Ride, if you've ever heard of Ride, Singapore's first carpooling app will now let customers pay with rides with Bitcoin. Starting next week, its users will be able to store and convert Bitcoin to the company's Ride coin with zero transaction costs, the company announced Wednesday. Customers can top up a maximum of $999 or just over $700 in Bitcoin at a time to pay for rides, and Ride claims it will be the world's first and only cryptocurrency wallet that allows users to pay for rides using Bitcoin within its own e-wallet. So right away, I see that, they're interested in accumulating Bitcoin, and I guess they're going to trade you Ride coins. I don't know about that. I would much rather have Bitcoin. The CEO of the company says Singaporeans have Bitcoin, but the use of Bitcoin in Singapore is limited. We can purchase Bitcoin at some ATMs and through crypto exchanges, but not many merchants accept it. So while this is a net positive, don't get stuck holding Ride coins. You want to be able to keep and accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible. Last but not least, Turkish real estate firm Antalya Homes now supports Bitcoin payments. Customers can now pay for properties listed on its platform with Bitcoin. According to a June 15th announcement, Antalya Homes claims to have recorded the highest value real estate sale ever made while using Bitcoin as a payment in Turkey. So 1.25 million was the highest valued property sale ever made by Bitcoin in Turkey. And it's just interesting that this one company says, yes, please, we will accept Bitcoin for large purchases of the homes and properties that we sell. All right, my name is Aaron. This is Altcoin Daily. Everybody take 2 seconds, like the video, give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friend or whatever. Make sure you stay tuned. We got a lot of good videos coming out this week. We try to start not too much news on a Monday, but we got to start the week off strong, got to start the week off right. I recommend any of our videos for the past 2 weeks if you want to learn more about what's going on in cryptocurrency today.